Before we start this review, I'd like to take a moment of your time to make a few things clear that can and obviously will be misinterpreted throughout this review. I am in no way against homosexuality. So when I talk negatively about this comic, don't think it's me being homophobic. I am, in fact, a strong supporter of homosexuality and gay weddings. And with that, we can continue to the thing that will make you hate Pokemon forever. Pikasemechu. The comic is...
The fuck is this? The fuck is this? Someone tell me why this exists! There is no reason for this! Why? The fuck... I'm speechless. I'm honest to God speechless.
Back when I was younger, my dad bought me the very first Pokemon game, shortly before my parents got divorced. My friends knew I was going through a rough time, so they used Pokemon to sort of break the ice with me. Every Saturday, I would without fail watch the Pokemon cartoon in TV, and I suppose it had such a big impact on me that I eventually started drawing manga myself. Pokemon was what I used to deal with my folks not talking to each other anymore, and to move to a different city where I'd be bullied and get the shit beat out of me. I didn't care, cause I could venture out and catch Pokemons, or collect the cards or whatever. So excuse me if I'm a little pissed off when
Pikachu rapes Ash!
some stupid dick one day decided, hey, what if the Pokemons became human? And so he threw together a half-assed story where Pikachu became a human with the hots for Ash.
Who is this prick? Who is this fucker? I will jam my fist so far up his ass that...
Why, hello, young lady. Allow me to review your comic. Okay, I've calmed down a little. The thing I should probably mention first is that the comic actually has a rather big fan base. Almost every comment on every page is singing high praise to this comic.
And once again, if you like what I don't like, good for you. You are entitled to your own opinion. But in this case, you are fucking
Have you ever noticed how whenever I've trash-talked a comic's premise, I mention how the idea was okay? I mean, shit, even the mix between Sonic and Pikachu was somewhat interesting. This, however, is bull fucking shit. The whole idea, the charm, the chemistry of the Pokemon cartoon was that Ash and the team didn't understand the Pokemon, and the humor usually came from how different they were. If you remove that, it is more like a story of some hunter capturing animals, containing them in airtight balls, and make them fight against each other. The idea and the execution of this both suck, and I haven't even gotten around to telling you what it is yet. The whole premise is that there is a Pokemon that upon contact turns Pokemon into humans. And apparently also enhances their fucking libido, cause not 2 minutes pass before these things turn human till they wanna fucking molest things.
To emphasize this, I've counted the times there is either kissing, hugging, or groping going on.
So Ash wants to turn Pikachu into a human in the hopes that it'll turn into a beautiful girl so he can fuck it.
Bestiality, bestiality, the animal kingdom is a turn on, you see. Bestiality, bestiality, your furry booty will be filled with me. It's because I have daddy issues.
But things doesn't turn out as planned, as instead of a hot chick, Pikachu turns into a manly man.
This comic takes place after the cartoon, and Ash has apparently never gotten around to check whether Pikachu is a male or female.
So Pikachu decides he wants to fuck Ash, but Ash refuses and screams that it is wrong, even though that was the entire point with turning him human! So Ash tries to find Misty to tell her all of this, and in the meantime Pikachu turns on the TV and... the fuck is this shit? So, let's for the sake of argument say Ash has been gone for roughly an hour. When he comes back, Pikachu has learned various English sentences. In fact, so much so that he can make full sentences and talk in fluid English in less than a fucking hour. And while we are on that subject, Misty points out later in the comic that Pokemon can understand their language but not speak it. Now, how the fuck does that make sense? It made sense when they were real Pokemon, because then they were like advanced animals. Maybe they just didn't have the needed brain power to form human words or the vocal cords to pronounce them. Well, here all of that is kicked right the fuck out of the window that answered with a meh.
Logic!
Okay, and now I gotta point out one of the biggest issues I have with this pile of shit. This! Remember when I said that telling a lot without saying it was the sign of a pro? Well, using shortenings and emoticons in your text is a sign of a fucking amateur. You may say, oh my god, then say, oh my god. You don't say, capital O underscore capital O or less than 3, do you? Speech bubbles are there for the reader to read what the person says. Rises offer tip number 6. If it's not a word or helps you make a sentence, it does not belong in a voice bubble.
We're pulling that Uber with the Uber lead hacks and the prawn with the guff with the and rocksters, boxers, omaga hacks.
I do not take pleasure in talking down to people, but Missy, you need to learn how to write if you're gonna write a fucking story, cause this is as clear signs of a noob as hole in the golf course is to a golf player.
The comic emits of fucking Japanese desu fangirl loving.
And that's okay. I'm a hardcore otaku. I know where you're coming from. But there's a limit to everything.
I mean, at one point, motherfucking Psyduck refers to Pikachu as San. And the reason it pisses me off so is that they didn't bother using it earlier in the comic. Which just goes to show that it was just put there for the cause of lol, oh my god, Japan is awesome, desu desu, kawaii desu.
And yes, enemies in Japanese culture is awesome. So let's let them keep some sort of honor and not fuck with their stories.
Also, I'm having a very hard time imagining who'd want to relate to this.
I'm gonna pork that! You wanna hear something really sad?
I really like the art. Of course to a degree, but it's really pretty to look at. Maybe a little too pretty. Because every fucking guy in this comic is so hot that make Judge Clooney jealous, it sometimes gets hard to tell who's who.
Also, to emphasize this, I've added a counter for every time the people look like they could be in a shampoo or other form of advertising.
This comic really has a thing for going, look how fucking handsome he is! And it actually pisses me off because suddenly when everyone is pretty, everyone falls in love and wanna fuck with each other. It makes all the love in the comic seem superficial. And Yasa even at one point have someone say that it isn't just looks that count.
Of course it doesn't count when everyone looks like they've been ripped out from a teenage girl's wet dream.
In fact, it is so much so that once Voltop becomes human and doesn't look super hard, it's being used as a joke.
Laugh at him! Laugh that he is in appearance inadequate to us! Laugh!
I don't get the art. I mean, the girl can draw, give the girl a biscuit, but then there are some things she can't draw, like hips for example. But most stunning of all is that she can't draw actions, and so she throws in these. This is a common problem in not only webcomics but in mangas as well. There is this trend to write whatever actions happen. Why? Tell it with the art. That is after all the possibility you have in a comic instead of a book. Most of the time it's even used for stupid shit. I mean, why do we need to be told whether a person is standing up or sitting down? We can tell by whether the person is or was standing or sitting before or after the picture.
Come on, this is comic making 101.
But the art is really pretty to look at. With some work, Yasu could be a great artist to help some other comic. Just don't let her write, please? I mean, she's not only playing it safe with no real advanced poses, and the advanced poses we finally get are extremely refreshing, instead of all those, hey, have you noticed how fucking handsome he is? It even works against Yasa's favor, because when she's so caught up in making everyone look like sex incarnated, you are actually having trouble finding out just who the character is supposed to be. I mean, I managed to mistake Ash for Misty. That is even more fucked up than the fact that no one can tell who Team Rocket is when they put on their disguise.
This is where I'm going to need some heavy patience.
I mean, sure, it's fun to draw things in your own style. In fact, I'm a big sucker for stuff like that. But when you are so busy making all the characters look so hot, you make the differences between them almost absent. Then all you have to go on are their personalities.
And girl, you do not wanna be dependent on that here.
Why? Because these characters are suffering from concession fever. Everything needs to be fucked. Ash wants to fuck Pikachu. Pikachu wants to fuck Ash. Misty wants to fuck Ash. Psyduck wants to fuck Misty and probably also Pikachu. Meowth wants to fuck Pikachu, and I'm rather sure that Persian also wanna fuck Meowth.
It's like a circle of childhood ruining fucking. Besides, that just confirms my beliefs, because all of these Pokemon are male, which can only mean one thing. Voltorb gets all the bitches.
Also, the fuck is this shit? This is the Pokemon that turns Pokemon human. What's its name? Horny! There's not even any benefit of the doubt here. This was made so that we could get some yaoi porn up in this bitch to get off on. I mean, who looks at this and thinks, you know, I could fuck that? I guess I should actually talk about the characters. They're all horny. That's it! They pulled the more horny than depth runners here. All personality is shoved out the window to make room for different reasons and locations you can get cute and sexy pictures of the characters. I suppose there is a little personality to be found in Ash, who is confused by Pikachu's transformation, and at one point wants something, and at a different point wants something else. But that's it. Even the characters we already know, Yasa managed to fuck up. Remember how we all knew that Misty had the hots for Ash even though she never said anything or did anything about it?
What? You want subtlety? Fuck that!
I'm gonna have Misty flat out admit her love for Ash! Why am I even surprised? Yasa has fucked up almost everything in the writing section. Why should we stop here? So yeah, I'm not a fan of this comic. It's like a pretty turd. It's pretty, but it's a turd. The premise is a 2. Nothing here works. It's poorly thought out, the idea is horribly managed, and on paper it's stupidly executed. The only thing cutting this comic some slack is that the concept is somewhat interesting. But that's it. The art is a 6. Yasa is a competent artist. There's definitely room for improvement, but hey, she could at least portray the men as hot, and her hands and whatnot weren't all that bad either. But a lot of times it seems to repeat itself, going from one cupping of cheek to kiss to another cupping of cheek and kiss. Also, that you need to tell what's what and what happened is just shooting yourself in the foot. The characters are free. While it is entertaining to see what the various Pokemon look in human form, it's also a slap in the face. There's no depth, no real character, and the only thing setting them apart is what Pokemon they are and who they wanna fuck. All in all, the comic is a free. It is really bad, and its only saving grace is that it's pretty to look at. Do not read this comic.
This thing just turned me into an adult, seeing I no longer got childhood to return to. Guess I better clean that up. I'll see you guys at the next webcomic release. Take care.
I want to be the best there ever was, to beat all the rest, yeah, that's my cause.
Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seaking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Butterfree.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon! I'll search across the land, look far and wide, release from my hand the power that's inside.
Venomoth, Poliwag, Nidorino, Golduck, Ivysaur, Grimer, Victreebel, Moltres, Nidoking, Farfetch'd, Abra, Jigglypuff, Kingler, Rhyhorn, Clefable, Wigglytuff.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon!
Zubat, Primeape, Meowth, Onix, Geodude, Rapidash, Magneton, Snorlax, Gengar, Tangela, Goldeen, Spearow, Weezing, Seal, Gyarados, Slowbro.
Fuck! Fuck!
Gotta catch 'em all.
Oh,
Catch 'em all, Pokemon. Kabuto, Persian, Paris,
Laugh at him! Laugh that he is an inherent!
Sandshrew, Charmander, Golem, Pikachu. At least 100. Be a Pokemon master is my destiny. Alexander, do a Venonat,
Man, I'm so glad we don't got any name.
Blastoise.